Hey, this is MassX with a brand new One Punch Man the Strongest video. And yes, Groribas is here. A little late to the party. It's a super busy Friday. God, with everything that's dropped this past week between Overlord as well as a few others, man, I'm just scraping by to get to One Punch Man the Strongest. But let's talk about Groribas. Pulled for him. Got an initial build, but it's not going to be my final build, of course, because some things we'll discuss and some gameplay why it's going to be important to get this character's keepsake. But for all you individuals that have no clue about this character, which I believe is probably next to none, this is a villain Esper. Specialized damage, reflect, corrosion, adhesion. His basic attack is crap. We don't care about it. It just hits a single target with 2 combo strikes for 120%. If you're using his single target attack, basic attack, well then you've probably already lost the game at that point. Now his ultimate attacks all enemies with 5 combo strikes for 250% attack. There's a 100% chance to inflict specialized corrosion on the main target and its surrounding enemies. DOT equal to 120% attack. Disappears after taking effect 5 times. After any character takes action, it transfers to targets that can be damaged and nullifies the reflect bonus damage of all enemies, lasting throughout the entire battle. Now, his Ultra Ultimate, once you get everything loaded up on him, that 250% attack is going to go to 400%, okay? 400%. Big deal. That's a huge increase. Very important for this character because you're using him as a DPS. Now, his passive. When enemies suffer DOT, deals bonus damage to all enemies equal to 70% DOT. Only one effect of the same type works throughout the whole battle. Inflicts adhesion. Can't deal follow-up or consecutive follow-up on enemies with specialized corrosion. Lasting for 2 turns. Yes. And of course the Awaken passive. And this is all without the Keepsake or 5P. We're going to talk about in a second because it's going to be incredibly important. Gains 150 energy gauge after taking action when the battle begins. Gains specialized damage reflect. Reducing 50% direct and bonus damage received and returning 50% of the original damage as bonus damage to the attacker. Lasting for the whole battle. After any character takes action, absorb 100% enemy DOT to recover the users and same column allies specialized guard. Absorbs incoming damage up to 15 times original max HP, yada yada yada. Okay, so yeah, he's a good character on his face, okay? But there's some things that you need to keep in mind with this character. When you 5P him, okay, the extra damage, okay, is going to go to 80%, as you can see. It's only 5%, but that makes a pretty big difference. Now, as I said earlier, his Ultra Ultimate, that attack goes from 250% to 400%, and the DOT attack, okay, goes from 120 to 180%. That's huge. This character needs a lot of attention. More so than even DSK, in my opinion. So you're going to need to get that. Now let's take a look at where my character is at currently. He's at a very not respectable, and I mean that sincerely, what is that? 22,000,007. Not great, at least in my opinion. His attacks, 2.3 million. Defense, 800,000. HP, just shy of 10 million. All subpar stats. His crit right now is at 78%. Now, that's not intentional. So I was able to build this character up, okay? So I've already got him to Awaken Inspiration 4 with the goal to get that to 5, of course. That should be your goal too if you're pulling for this character, but of course the keepsake isn't out yet, so we can't go any further at this point. He's at level 129. I decided to make him a primary, so I took my king off, gave him everything from my king so I could get him raised up with the knowledge I'll be using this character for a while. So his character skills, 124. He's currently limit broken to 6 with 3 attacks open. Like my DSK, the goal will be to get this character to 7 stars. I don't know when I'll do that. It's going to be just as I get the shards, but that is going to be the goal. But of course, my priority, of course, is the Awaken Inspiration to get it to 5P. So that's a long-term project. Character journeys are all opened up except for defense, which once I am done building him, I will go ahead and do those donations, which I try to do. I'm just on my DPS characters just for a little bit extra help to keep them alive. It's not essential. Now my character talents right now, I've got talent 2 done in full. If you don't have the resources to fill it up, you're focusing on anything damage related and attack first and foremost. Keep that in mind. Damage rate's also going to be very good. Crit, not essential, but can be helpful. You want the energy gauge reduction if you can. Block rate and damage reduction rate are, again, not your priorities. Your damage rate, your attacks. Those are going to be your first and foremost. Then move along from there. In 3, I'm getting close to being finished. And as you've noticed right now, what I do with all characters when I start is, just so you guys are aware, I don't know if I ever talked about this before, I always go simple with the sigils, okay? Very simple. I always go with anything that's just the basic attack HP. So you're going to always see me using swords, and you're always going to see me using vitality. Why? Well, first off, you can't muck anything up when you're already going to help them do more damage as well as stay alive. And of course, the vitality ones have attack on them. That doesn't mean I won't change them. When I build a character, I try to go a very simple approach. And as I play the character, then I may choose to mix things up based on how they are holding up in live play. So again, you're going to do the same thing for talent 2s. You're looking for your attacks, okay? Those are going to be primaries, okay? Crit damage, not so much. Lifesteal, a good one. Damage reflect rate, given what this character does, a good one. Block, again, not as essential out of the gate. You want your attack as high as possible and then move on from there. You've also got your DOT boost, which is going to be very helpful. And of course, energy gauge filling up is always a good thing. Again, none of them are bad. Your priority is attack, and then from there, move to what you think is going to help out your particular build of your Groribas. Now, my exclusive item. My exclusive badge, I went ahead, stripped somebody, and made his 6 stars because I know I'm going to use him in my primary team for now. So I want as much HP as possible to help him tank as much as possible. Of course, the keepsake's not available, so 2 stars is all you could get. But you're going to want to max out your attack if you can, because that's going to help you out a lot. For gearing, this is not the gear set I'm going to be using, okay? It's all I was using for today for purposes of this video. I have no intention of using machine gun. Most people like to use fiery on everything. Because why? Because fiery gives you that 12% all damage boost and the increase in speed. All right. That's fine if that's what you want to do. I, though, think Fiery is the second best set in the game. I've talked about this before. Drive, to me, is the best set in the game. Why? Because you get 30% all damage reduction. All damage reduction and an increase in attack and HP. Yes, it's only 10%, but it's still not bad, okay? Why? Because to me, I want my team to survive. I generally, up until 2 weeks ago, and I'm sure it will change again, never have speed lead. I am the most unluckiest person when it comes to getting speed. So I have always had the theory when I play games to always build my teams tankier than most people would. And I do that because then I know I don't have to take speed, worry about speed as much. Doesn't mean it doesn't become a problem. I have to work around those problems. But the drive set with that 30% all damage reduction. So think about that. Fiery gives you 12% all damage boost. Drive gives you 30% all damage reduction. Think about it for a second. Which is better? Now again, it's nice to get that little 15% speed for your team, but you're sacrificing your other stats too. So to me, drive is always my preferred equipment set if I can use it. So right now, currently, I play, I think, 5 sets of drive and 1 non-set of drive in my main team. It changes based on the character. I am going to attempt to go drive with Groribas because I want him to live. I want him to tank, okay? I already have a non-tank set on my Deep Sea King because, and I've shown it before in prior videos, I just got a crazy set of ninjas that I really liked, so I used that. And at least with ninja, you don't get any damage boost, you don't get any damage reduction, but you do get the speed boost and you get the attack and HP plus 10%. If it was a perfect world and I had any RNG when it came to pulling equipment, I would be changing that out in a heartbeat, but I don't. So I've built my DSK to offset not having a drive set on him. Everybody else, I always run drive if I can. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. I'm lucky right now because I've been very lucky with my drive pulls when it comes to tank units, not when it comes to DPS units. That I've had a lot more problems with, but don't want to digress on this one. Attack is the key with this character. Use the best set you've got if it's attack, okay? Damage rate is okay, but really if you can, all attack percentages. Like I would not have crit in here. I just basically stripped my Boros to use the buff gears and gear off him for now while I start my testing before I make the plunge into switching Groribas into my main team, which in my opinion won't happen until after the keepsake drops because it's that essential to me. And speaking of the buff gear, attack. It's that simple. Attack. As much as you can. Like I said, I got this off my Boros. It had already 2 attack percentages. Wonderful. In a perfect world, he'll have 3. That's what you want. Really don't worry about the crit as much with him. It's not going to hurt, but it wouldn't be my first choice. Anything pushing your damage or more attack to me is going to be more important. Of course, if you want to make him a little tankier or you want some help, resist is always good. And of course, you know, on your bottom one, basically attack, damage reduction rate, bonus damage reduction rate, anything you can to keep him survive. If you get lucky and get an attack percentage like I did once, which I still don't know how the hell that ever happened, that would be wonderful. But again, attack is your key with this character. Now I'll go ahead and throw one battle up. Now this is the monster battle. I'll just play a little bit of it. Then we're going to talk about what's more important is main teams, okay? And options you're going to have based on what characters you have. But yeah, look at what that little freaking effer does. First off, I think he has the coolest attack. I just think that slide is just cooler than any other character, period, up to this point that's been released. I just think it's amazingly cool looking at. But yeah, I mean, he just will slowly, I shouldn't even say slowly, but he will tear teams apart when he is built properly. Pairing him with DSK just makes it an absolute beast of a 1-2 punch combo. Just look at that. Just look at, it's crazy. But again, this is just monster v monster. Just wanted to show a little gameplay here just to see him in action. But we need to talk about team builds and what's going to be optimal. Now for monster, you know, go with what's your best options. What I envision down the road if I had a monster team is what I would be doing is I would be having a speedster alongside my Mel's and my Groribas with DSK probably on the front line, then paired up so you can get all those extra hits from DSK and Groribas. I'm not sure Groribas, it's really going to be a tough call. Once mine's fully built, I'll be able to make the proper choice of who should be on the front line. On paper, Groribas should be the one that should be able to be stronger on the front line, being paired up with DSK. But again, I'm going to go with whoever after testing I feel is going to be able to hold that line better and have more longevity. So there you go. You got to see him in a little action. Boom, boom, boom. Cool slide. I just think he looks cool when he does that. Now, talking lineups, okay? Now, hopefully, you've got Drive Night, because that's where the focus would be in most circumstances with a team build with Groribas. But things get really tough to decide here, because you got to think about how you're going to play, what you're going to have going on, what teams, priority. Are you going to be having your heroes with Cruel, your monsters? My personal opinion, I think it's going to be more monster heavy right now. And in my opinion, I would be taking Groribas and I'd be going 1 of 2 routes. I would set him up like I talked about before. Whoever's going to be able to hold the line better, Groribas or DSK, together, paired. Flashy Flash with Mel's because he needs to go due to his kit first, if at all possible. And by lining him up with your Speedster, based on the Speedster you use, if you're using Flashy Flash, then of course he's going to be as situated here. And then of course, Phoenix Man and Drive Night. And honestly, I'm considering going Tank Drive Night now with the release of Groribas. So my Drive Night may go front line instead, because as Phoenix Man, I find, is one of the weaker links on teams for survivability. I mean, he's built to survive. He's not built to tank, if that makes sense to you all. But again, you could go with that. Now, if you didn't get Mel's or Phoenix Man, of course, and you have Tank Top Master, you could easily put him in. And in that sort of case, you're probably going to go the route of Phoenix Man in front of Flashy Flash if you have Phoenix Man over Mel's. Why? Because then at least you're going to be doing that scooping up, and you know for a fact, most likely, Groribas and DSK are going to be paired up So that means one of them is going to be on the front line. So hopefully you're going to be able to snatch them up with your Phoenix Man going to take them off the field. If it's DSK up front, then you've pretty much cut out that follow-up, which would be very nice and very smart. If it's Groribas on the front, well, who cares? You're just taking out one of their main DPSs. Either way, it's a win-win. Now, if you don't have Phoenix Man and you have Mel's, then you're going to do a situation similar because you need Mel's to go early so you can take advantage of his toolkit. If you don't have either of them, or you're missing Tank Top Master, I still think your best shot right now is probably going with Kogetsu. And why do I say that? Because, and I wouldn't do that, I would move Tank Top Master there. Because, you know, he's still tanky, he can still do good damage. If you haven't started pulling away from your Gogetsu, then it would be a good choice. Of course, the other choice you could possibly have, of course, is your Atomic. A lot of people still have him. That would not be bad. Of course, he would go back line. Your Drive Knight would go front line. But there you go. Just some options. But in a perfect world, what I'm envisioning is something like this, or this, or this. That's what I see. Now, that doesn't mean I will be incredibly happy about it. I'm still considering going Tank Top Man instead of Phoenix. I prefer Mel's over Phoenix Man. Yes, Phoenix Man is easier. Yes, Phoenix Man, you know what you're getting right out of the gate and you don't have to worry about speed, etc., etc. I just like Mel's better. I like his AoE, what he can do damage-wise. So, to me, I think he's a better tank, can hold up better. So, if I was going to go Tank Top Man, then it would be something like this. And that's what I would do personally. But yeah, this video's gone on way freaking too long. But I wanted to give some team setups. I wanted to show a little gameplay, talk about the character, talk about the gearing on this character. But again, I really don't think we can, and I will circle back around with another video. Once the keepsake drops, once I get mine fully built, then I'll do a video showing how these different setups work and what I'm finding seems to work the best. So sorry about the long video. I'm gonna shut the F up now. Hope everybody's having a good day. Talk to you soon.